There is a sixth dimension, beyond that which is known to scammers. It is a dimension composed of digital artifacts, zeros and ones, where no one knows who anyone truly is. It is the middle ground between trust and lies, between naivete and greed, and it lies between the cesspool of fraud and deception and the misguided belief that anyone would offer wealth that you are entitled to in exchange for a nominal shipping and handling fee. This is the dimension of retaliation. It is an area which we call messing with scammers. Welcome to Part 4 of the Rev Henry Chronicles. I'm your Messing with Scammers host, Scott Robison. This installment is brought to you by a grant from the Soylent Corporation. With the population of the planet ever growing, ensuring a consistent supply of nutritious food is critical. Soylent's research into sustainable food production will reap benefits within the next decade. To learn more about the history and future of the Soylent Corporation, from Soylent Red to Soylent Violet, give them a call at 999-769-5368. That's 999-SOYLENT. Soylent Corporation. Food of the people, by the people, and for the people. It's been a few days since the last update. On Friday, Reverend Henry tried calling me 4 times, and only 4 times, and he hasn't called me at all for almost 48 hours. I'm hoping he's just settling in for the long con, given how long it's been and how long it will be until money is available. If only he knew what was coming. Previously, I'd sent Reverend Henry a pair of emails, as you can see above, explaining how upset I was over what my daughter had said to me and how I just knew she was wrong. Oh, and by the way, could I get some identification? Oh, and I've started the fundraising campaign. So he replied, "Dear Stanley, I got your email and was really surprised. For Christ's sake, why would I cheat from an old man? Look, Mr. Stanley, you are like a brother and father to me. I can't indulge myself into such barbaric act. People around you would doubt you and discourage you, but am out to proof them all wrong. That is why I told you earlier on, you keep this confidential. Don't mention this to anyone again, not even your daughter. I would speak to they boards, and they would give us more time till 25th. Below is my identity card as a sign of proof. These are all we need to get the money into your account. Reverend Henry Larson." At least we now have evidence that he is reading the emails that I send. He directly responded to my daughter's claim that this is a scam, and he tried to butter me up a little bit in the process because I'm like family to him. I guess I'm like a father and a brother to him because his concept of the United States is that we're all just a bunch of inbred hicks. He completely ignored my suggestion about giving the ATM card the King Solomon treatment, but he did provide photo identification. See, there it is, right there. All the proof you could ever need. It looks completely 100% legitimate, does not look like it is fabricated at all. The next few emails have been fairly inconsequential. You're right, you told me to keep this confidential, and I thought I knew better. I guess my daughter was right, that I am an old fool. Just not for the reason she thought. I am a fool for thinking I raised her the right way, to respect men who have dedicated their lives to a higher power. But she's still my baby girl. I just hope someday she can see her error in not trusting me. I have good news. My fundraising campaign started yesterday. I should think you might like to keep track of it, or at least look at it once, so that you can reassure the board that I'm doing everything possible to get the money as quickly as possible. The link to my campaign page is, and there's the link. I don't know if it will succeed in raising the full $550. If it raises at least $350, could I switch from DHL to FedEx or to UPS if I raised $450, or am I locked into DHL now? I'm so glad to read that you consider me family. It's very touching. Did I ever ask you about what church you are a reverend for? I know I meant to ask, but my memory isn't what it used to be. Maybe I did ask and you answered, and I don't even remember. I should probably talk to my doctor about that when I next see him. Make sure that it isn't something bad. Dear Stanley, I got your email and I'm happy everything is moving on as planned. Well, try to keep in touch now and then. Thank you and remain blessed. Thank you too. I see I missed a number of calls from you. I was driving and unable to take calls much of the day as I drove about 120 miles today, and it is dangerous to use a phone and drive. When I was a detective, I had to assist on several cases of automobile accidents where someone didn't pay attention to their driving because they were too busy talking on a phone or sending a text message or using a typewriter. Very ugly situations when you come across that kind of injury and dead bodies. Never will I ever make that mistake. Then I didn't hear anything from him yesterday. He did not attempt to call me on the phone. He did not send me an email. He did not do anything. Maybe I need to check my spam folder. Let's see. Is there anything in my spam folder? Nope, nothing in my spam folder. So he did not contact me at all. This could be bad for me. Did I go overboard? Did I finally write or say something so ridiculous that even Reverend Henry could not bother continuing with the scam because it was so crazy? I decided I needed to make contact with him today. In for a penny, in for a pound. Sorry I haven't been in touch to keep you up to date. I just wanted to let you know how things are going. I wasn't around yesterday as I was attending a reunion of sorts with a guy I used to work with. It was great catching up with him after 15 to 20 years. My old captain, Barn, he's getting up there in years. He's in his mid-80s now, but still sharp as a tack. After retiring from the force, he got bored and decided to buy and run a restaurant. Sadly, he lost Jack's place in less than a year. Ron, Artie, Carl, Nick, Frank, and Phil have all died. I knew about most of them, but not Carl. Hearing that news hit me hard. It really makes you think about how little time you might have left. You've got to make the most of every moment. You know how sometimes the world looks perfect, like there's nothing you could rearrange to make it better? Since I heard from your company, I've started having a feeling that I need some kind of change. My daughter may think the odds are bad this time, but nothing's going to stand in my way. Nothing's going to stop me now. Once this money comes, the sky is the limit. Anyway, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the fundraising campaign website I sent you. Just in case you haven't had the time, as I'm sure you're busy taking care of lots of people besides me, I've attached a screen capture below. Already up to 113 out of the $550 goal donated by 13 people. At this rate, I think the goal should be reached by May 22nd. I don't get the money until the 24th after the campaign ends. I'll let you know how much I raised at the end, and we can work out exactly what needs to happen at that point, like whether to go to a cheaper option or even a more expensive option. Bless you, Reverend Henry. I know you were sent to me for a greater purpose. When you didn't answer my earlier question about being able to help me financially pay these fees, I'm sure it was because you don't have a lot of money yourself. Just because you work for a bank does not mean you are wealthy, I'm sure. I sincerely hope that you have an opportunity at some sort of wealth like this in the future. If not for you or your family, by the way, can reverends marry? At least for your church. In fact, I would like to make a donation to your church after I receive the ATM card. Is there any particular project that I might be able to help out with? $4.6 million is a lot of money, and it would be wrong and selfish and greedy of me to not donate at least some of it to good people and good causes. Anyway, that's enough for now. I hope you are having a blessed Sabbath day. Take care. And that's the current status. The observant watcher will note two things. One, I talked about how my old boss, Captain Barney Miller, after he quit the force, got into the restaurant business. The actor, Hal Linden, was the star of a show called Jack's Place that lasted for about a season, 18 episodes in the early 90s. Also, you will note that I used the lyrics from Nothing's Gonna Stop Me Now, which was the theme song to Perfect Strangers, a late 80s, early 90s sitcom. I like to think of myself as the cousin Larry to Reverend Henry's Balky, because Reverend Henry doesn't know a lot about America, about American ways. He doesn't speak the language well. He doesn't write the language well. And I, as Cousin Larry, am here to help him progress in the world. By the way, if you remember that song, or would just like to hear it because I've mentioned it, there's an amusing little web game that is based on the show Perfect Strangers and its theme song. The website is nothingsgonnastopmenow.com. I'll put a link in the description, just in case. It's kind of a long name. I'm hoping I haven't scared Reverend Henry off with some of the crazy stuff I've sent him, because I would be very sad if I didn't get to have a final call with him to play out the counter-scam endgame and record his reaction. That's it for this time. You probably know the drill by now. I love reading comments and messages, so please let me know what you think. If you really like what I'm doing, a like or a subscribe or sharing it with a friend would be appreciated as well. If you don't like what I'm doing, that's fine too, but please let me know so I can address it if at all possible. On behalf of Casa de Robinson and the entire behind-the-scenes team, thank you very much for watching. We know you have a choice of channels when you are browsing YouTube, and we want you to know how much we appreciate you choosing to watch Casa de Robinson videos. Until next time, take care.